So what if this isn't actually the design for the Apple Watch Series 8? What if, again, everybody was wrong? What if for the second year in a row, everybody was wrong? Yo, what's up, guys? It's Sam Cole here. Oh, man, this is gonna be spicy. All right, make sure you got some milk. Hold on, I gotta go grab mine. Y'all got your milks? Let's jump into the news. So first off today, the Apple Watch Series 8. The design is going to be completely different than what we have been expecting. See, up until this point, for many months now and even back years, we've been expecting this to be the new design for at least one new Apple Watch this year. Presumably, it was going to be the all-new Pro version of the watch, aimed at extreme sport athletes that is even more durable and resistant than other models. And specifically, it's the flat edges on here that really made me believe that this was going to be the new Pro rugged model because, well, on the Apple iPhone 13 page, Apple boasts the squared off design of the iPhone as being more durable than iPhones before it. But now we're hearing something different. Well, that's because a new report says that this design is not happening at all. All of these renders about the flat-sided Apple Watch, pictures I have seen myself, I'm not going to go into the details, but pictures I have seen myself of flat-edged Apple Watches, that's not happening. Bro, I can't even drink the milk. I'm so upset because this has been the longest saga of my life. I never thought I would care this much about an Apple Watch leak. For context, this has been going on for years. We've been hearing about this flat-edge watch to the point where even Mark Gurman 2 years ago said that was going to happen. Not to mention Guo Minxi and John Prosser and others that also said, yeah, we've seen the flat-edge watch. In fact, every single person doing rumors at one point or another was like, yeah, the watch is going to have flat edges. And with it not happening in 2021 on the Series 7, everybody assumed, oh, duh, the Extreme Sports durable model, flat sides, it makes perfect sense. This is the design that we're getting. Okay, so now what? We've been waiting 2 years for this design, and now it's not actually happening. What is this new watch going to look like? What is the design? Well, according to this new report from Mark Gurman, here's what it is. It's a really large watch, a watch with a 7% larger display, so big that it's only going to appeal to a small subset of customers. And while the device is going to have a quote fresh look end quote, it's not going to have those flat sides. It's just going to be an evolution of the current rectangular design and definitely not circular. I'm sorry, let me just get this straight. This report says it's not going to look like the old watch, but it's not going to look like a new watch, but it is going to look new. Why do I even try anymore? So let me get this straight. It's not going to be that, which is like slightly rounded, and it's not going to be that, which is a perfect square. So I think the only thing left is that. What about a triangle? Do we have any triangle Apple Watches or a stop sign Apple Watch? Can we get a pentagon in here? All right, let's just keep naming shapes until we're right because that is our best guess. I don't know what it's going to look like. Apparently Mark Gurman doesn't know what it looked like. I don't think anybody actually knows what it's going to look like aside from Apple, which to be honest is actually kind of exciting. I can't remember the last time a new design has been a true surprise to the point where nobody actually knew what it was going to look like. Maybe it's somewhere in between the square and the rounded. I don't know. You guys let me know. Is it going to be a triangle? It's just apparently not going to be this. And I wanted to bring attention to start setting the expectations now because we know what happened last year. All right, next up from that is the iPhone 14. Been kind of slow here, rumor-wise, after we had all the leaks in the last video, but we did get some fresh information about the RAM inside. According to a new report from Digitimes, Apple is planning to use 6 gigabytes of RAM in all the iPhone 14s, which sounds great, right? Great until you start to look at the details. And the details say that, yeah, while both phones are getting 6 gigabytes of RAM, the RAM is going to be a little bit different. You're getting LPDDR4X RAM in the iPhone 14 and faster and more efficient LPDDR5 RAM in the iPhone 14 Pro. What is LDPPRQ4XW9Z? I don't know. I'm just a guy making videos. No, I'm not going to look it up and tell you what it means. All right, you got me. Curiosity killed the cat. So I looked it up. LPDDR stands for low power double data rate, which is the type of RAM. And then the number at the end, the 5 or the 4X, is the version of it. So here's what you need to know about that. If you buy the standard iPhone 14, even though it's going to say 6 gigabytes of RAM, which Apple never advertises in the first place, to be clear, but the performance is going to be different. And while personally, yeah, I'm disappointed that the iPhone 14 is not getting the fastest and newest newest RAM is the Pro. I also get it because like target audience, the Pro should have the best of everything. Like the phones, the non-Pro and the Pro have been so similar for so long that I think Apple, it finally clicked like, hey, we should probably separate these because they've been really close to the point where I've been recommending to everybody in my life to just get the standard phone and not the Pro since Apple started doing that in 2019. But honestly, I think the RAM is going to be the least noticeable difference between the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Pro when they come out. Because camera-wise, the standard phone has a 12 megapixel sensor on the back and the Pro is getting the new 48 megapixel sensor. The standard iPhone 14s will continue to have the notch, where the Pro iPhone 14s will have the new eye punch design. Even the processor in the iPhone 14 is going to be the A15 currently found in the iPhone 13. It's only the iPhone 14 Pros that are getting the new A16 chip. Again, I'm just saying, like, the value has been too good for so many years where you're still going to get an insanely good phone when you buy the 14 or 14 Max. It's just if you want the best smartphone that Apple makes, yeah, you got to go up to the 14 Pro or the 14 Pro Max. So I also think it's fair. Should we talk about the next story? Let's talk about the Mac Pro to close things out. Where is the new Mac Pro, by the way? Like, Apple started their transition to Apple Silicon in June of 2020, and they said it would take them 2 years to complete, but here we are basically in August of 2022 and no new Mac Pro. Well, we got some details about this from Mark Gurman on a recent interview with MaxTag. It was really interesting because apparently there's been an M1 Mac Pro ready for months now. And not only that, this Mac Pro was supposed to be announced at WWDC, but that for some reason, I guess pretty close to launch, Apple decided to scrap it in place of an upcoming Mac Pro M2 Extreme, which sounds just as crazy as it's gonna be because we have the standard M series of chips and then the Pro, the Max, and the Ultra, going up in power. But what is Extreme? This is going to be a fifth tier and iteration of the standard M series that is essentially going to combine two Ultras together, just as the Max is two Pros. That's what Apple is doing for the Extreme. And that is said to be coming in this Mac Pro that could be announced as soon as the end of this year. So that's where the Mac Pro is. And I guess technically, if Apple announces the M2 Extreme Mac Pro before the end of November, they will hit their deadline because it was November of 2020 when the first M1 Max came out. And if we want to start the 2-year clock there, then they can technically get away with it, which I think is probably likely. I bet we'll see like an October or November event where not necessarily a release, just an announcement of the final Mac Pro and probably even the M2 Mac Minis as well. Which, by the way, for those of you holding out for a new Mac Mini, in the same report from Gurman, he does say that they are still in the works, but there's not going to be a new design. So again, those renders that we saw of the M2 Mac Mini, it exists. It's just going to look like the old model. And then on the inside are going to be M2 and M2 Pro chips. And again, this is hopefully coming before the end of the year. All right, guys, that's your news for today. Talking about a lot of crazy stuff. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you cool cats in my next one. Peace.